But in the end, Sync really had control of the game for the most part. Keeper just hanging on in there, trying their best to come back, but it wasn't to be. Sync just too strong. So thus, why we're here. We got the initial bans coming out as usual. Pharaoh, Swiftblade, Bubbles, Cthulhu Fine. So how about that Pharaoh respect, man? You know, Pharaoh right off the bat. They do first pick the Rhapsody, and then Tree responds with Glacius right away, actually. So.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, to be fair. And I honestly couldn't tell you why. I know Fusen, he does have his sort of flavour of the month kind of supports. First it was Rhapsody, then it was Torturer. It could be that it's Glacius now, but at the same time, Parasite is already on the board, so perhaps maybe he's picked up the Glacius because of that, perhaps. But I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I said before, Fusen does a lot of sort of strategy work, a lot of theory crafting, so I honestly couldn't tell you why he's picked up the Glacius here. It's a little bit strange on sort of face value, but without a doubt, you know, Fusen has a reason for it.
Yeah, it really is just one of those. It's understandable if you do like the hero and you do value it and it's a start, but why pick it up now is what it goes down to. Like, why pick it up? There's not a Sync's not going to respond with the Glacius pickup. I mean, that's just probably not going to happen. So I guess it does maybe deter Sync from wanting to pick up Parasite because Glacius is pretty good against that, but.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Fusen does what he wants. Kind of the whole of the Tree team do whatever they want, like Boxy and Balthazar. They pick whatever items they want, they do whatever they want. And I guess that it comes from the same with Fusen as well, in terms of the captain and picking the random heroes. But there's the Miraxis pickup as well. And I have to admit, Tree, their sort of style of draft has changed quite a bit from when I used to play against them. They used to always first pick the Magma. And I guess maybe it's just the change in meta or whatever. But in a sense, the draft here from Tree is rather different. But we'll have to see how they do finish it off, though, because the second pick Miraxis, though, is something that you wouldn't really expect.
Yeah.
But I guess Tree is one of those teams.
We keep going back to that. It's just it's Tree. It's Tree. They do what they like, and they don't let anyone else tell them differently. So, and you know, we do respect it about them, but at other times, kind of scratching your head a little bit and wondering what are they thinking. Again, this is a big matchup here. They're down 1-0 against Sync Esports now. They go Doctor, so they do got a couple of the same heroes that they had last game. Again, overall, those were the two heroes that, if anything, were actually pretty powerful. And again, Pharaoh was even banned, so. But they get the Glacius support on top of that, so maybe that's where they're hoping things are going to be a little bit different here.
I guess, I mean, obviously the change to tuning presence as well. I know it's not a lot, but 200 max mana, particularly for Doctor in the early stages of the game, can be quite a big factor, especially with the 2 mana regen as well on top of that. So maybe that could be a slight reasoning for it. But yeah, I do know what you mean. I guess, I mean, one thing to note though as well, like if you have a certain draft in mind, like, it doesn't really kind of matter what order you pick them in, because obviously you're most likely going to pick them up. And second of all, if they first pick Doctor here, then obviously there's the potential for Zinc to counterpick it. Whereas if you pick up the heroes like Glacius and Mirax, where you can't really sort of pick against them, then obviously it leaves the Doctor Repulsor to be picked up third, and therefore can't really be countered too much by Zinc. So
yeah,
that's one reason.
Zinc showing some respect to Ruta Z right there, the secondary support. Riftwalker and Engineer being taken out. So as far as secondary support option heroes go, so Madman and Revenant being banned out on the other hand by Willowkeeper. But yeah, I mean, you got a hero like Parasite still on the board, and I guess other teams, Sync would have definitely probably banned that out by now, but they're like, you know what, Tree doesn't usually play Parasite. Why ban it out?
They don't play jungle.
They don't play jungle, exactly, yeah.
So
it's understandable there. Magmus is their final one in the end. You see Boxy right-clicking Kinesis down there. Wonder if that's one we could possibly see here.
I mean, they do. They used to run Kinesis quite a lot in Suicide. It has fallen off a little bit because of there's a lot of dual short lanes like we saw in game 1. So and Kinesis is not really a strong solo laner, but not the greatest 1v2. So we might see it, we might not, depending on how the draft has finished off.
And then just ban out Balfagor, because you never know. No.
Just in case.
Well, Casey has run that Suicide Balfagor. He did that, of course, in the last Grand Finals against BMG.
That's true.
And I mean, you look at their lineup. This is a lineup that definitely would be pretty powerful with the Balfagor. So it's like a, we don't want to get cheesed here kind of ban. Just making sure.
Yeah, I mean, compared to game 1 though, you can see the Zinc lineup is a little bit different. Like, obviously, in game 1 there's a lot of a lot of gank, whereas this is a lot more team fight and push, like we saw in sort of like you said the last Grand Finals in Cycle 1. So obviously Fusion knows what he's doing in terms of who to ban and who to pick, for example. So bans at the battlefield here. I'm wondering actually what kind of carry actually here. I mean, Monkey King is still on the board.
Yeah.
And saying that that's a very, very close hero close to Zink's heart. So we'll have to see if they can pick that up or not.
Mickey is known to play that powerful Monkey King, as he is known for play Devour, and that's being right-clicked there on his side. So they're putting a lot of thought into this. Only 10 seconds now remaining on this fourth pick. That's going to be Torture is what they go with, and that's, again, going to be more of the short lane Torture, most likely.
Yep.
Coming out here. Interesting. So a couple times now today.
Yeah, and I guess they're going to follow up with a suicide here. They're eyeing up the Mageman again, like in game 1, which I think that makes a little bit more sense why they pick up the carry Torturer. But I've said before, I'm not too fond of the carry Torturer or the short lane Torturer. I mean, it's a good solo hero, but it really does die off. So I'd like to see maybe like a stronger hero in the short lane compared to, say, a Torturer. But we'll have to see here in the end. And I actually think Zink's worst hero is Torturer. So. Funny.
Well, there you go. Zink, why are you picking up Torture? No. I mean, it's still obviously a positive win percentage in the end, but it's apparently one of the lower ones that have heroes that they do pick up. So worth noting there. Again, I think it would be safe to say probably usually more played as a support Torturer, to be fair, compared to a carry farming Torturer. So we'll see the difference in that. But 40 seconds now remaining for Willow, Keeper, and counting here. Going to think about this one as well. Again, the secondary support option, I'm sure, going to be coming out at least. In fact, now Nymphora being right-clicked. Nymphora, I brought that up with the Revenant idea. And Nymphora herself, though, we really haven't seen a whole lot.
Nymphora Doctor Repulsor as well. It's such a key sort of hero combination. I don't know if it's so popular now in the Team M scene, but it used to be so big with, like, especially high Team M where you just pick Doctor and Nymphora. It was like the biggest cancer in cheese ever. So wouldn't be surprised if we see it here as well. Obviously, they've got the Glacius Morax for the middle lane, and Doctor and Nymphora can work very, very well, and that's pretty what they're deciding for now. A lot of gank potential, particularly with those two heroes, but they're going to finish off with a second Alonia. So.
All right.
All right.
Another one of those. Okay, that kind of comes out of left field, just like the Prophet. Magebane, the final pick for Zink. It worked so well last game. Why not do it again, they say. Overall, a pretty similar lineup to what they had. I guess not really. I guess Pebbles and Magebane are the only two, but still, the idea of it maybe is kind of there.
Yeah.
But Pebbles and Magebane both had huge impacts at game 1. So
just a little bit in terms of different terms of strategy, but yeah, I mean, Alonia can work, and I've actually seen.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to see Gunblade, but no, never mind.
Thanks, sir. I mean, Alonia can work, though, as a secondary support because, I mean, it's particularly against this lineup as well. It's quite strong in the sense that it does offer a lot of counter push in that sense, obviously, with the, the Glacial Spike. Obviously, it only has like a 2-second cooldown, and obviously 200 magic damage as well. So quite an effective counter push technique, particularly going against this heavy, well, not heavy team fight, sorry, not heavy push, but quite a lot of team fight and push. And there is the final pick of Kinesis, actually. So we'll have to see how well it does work, actually. Actually, I think it's going to be a 1v1, actually. So, yeah, this Kinesis in Suicide is going to work quite well compared to, say, in Game 1 where we had Pebbles in the short lane. So I think we're going to see Pebbles, Rhapsody in the middle lane and Torture solo whilst Aphelios in the jungle.
Yeah. It actually got me. I wanted to bring this up too. Now we're jumping to this game 1, but real quickly, the other gold division and the gold cycle, the winter bracket finals are being played right now. They're actually in game 3 of their series. That's between Shrek is Love and The Last of Us. Again, there are 2 or 3 teams remaining. Them and Twisted Fusion in the losers bracket finals. 2 of those 3 teams are going to be qualifying for cycle 3 of Diamond Division. And so paying attention to that, kind of getting an idea. And actually, that game 3, there's heroes like Defiler and Gunblade were actually in the game. So pretty crazy game over there. Anyways, got this here. And a little bit of a start as far as seeing one another. But again, not really any initiation. And they'll probably not end up fighting in the end. Kind of scare them off. God, they're getting so close. But at level 1, no items really. Not only level 1 abilities, so you really can't expect crazy initiation up. Apparently a DC. Okay, another good. Go. Now's our chance. Oh, boy. But, yeah, no Defiler this game, unfortunately. Only in the other series. Fun hero.
Look at Zlap though. Look at that. He has already the upgrade courier. So and also he knows obviously they're not going to be really warding from the backside because he's already there. So he should be able to get at least one of these wards. He might not actually get the other one because I don't know if he actually saw that. But already good play count from Zlap. So I mean, Zlap does get a lot of credit coming out from his jungle play, but there is a reason for it. Like he's so clever in that sort of sense, know exactly how to do in all stages of the game and what to do from there. So Zlap clearly knowing what to do, particularly in this sort of matchup already.
Yeah. Carry tour for Sync. It's worked once, it's lost once, so third time we'll see how it kind of breaks the 50% right there as far as wins and losses go, but again, going to be the hands of Flensmeister. He's at the bottom lane. Going to be matched up against that Kinesis, so Boxy on Kinesis can be a pretty annoying suicide to go up against with that W of his, the telekinetic lift, as you see right there. Also to assist with farming, but also kind of harass and help deny and keep the lane from pushed up like crazy. But the Alonia, though. The Alonia Moraxis versus a Rhapsody Pebbles here in the middle lane. So Alonia definitely has good assistance, good burst potential, and she needs a good amount of mana, though, I think it's safe to say. I mean, the Glacial Spike itself, you're already looking at 90 up to 120 mana each cast. And, you know, her abilities usually want to kind of spam on one another. So the secondary support, you know, get some decent farm on her. Eventually something like a Staff of the Master would be pretty good, actually. I think that's a huge buff with Staff of the Master that came after her. I don't know if it's considered core by any means, but
you won't miss pick up. Yeah, not on a secondary support though. Not because it's not a good item. It's just the farm is just not enough, honestly, for a secondary support unless he goes some crazy like annihilation and like, some crazy kill streak.
It can happen.
And we won't. It's definitely possible, but especially for Root of Z playing secondary support. But at the same time, the gold and the GPM is just not going to be there. Normally, whenever we see like Root of Z, like his item choice is normally like a sheep stick, which is probably arguably a little bit better than the Staff of the Master, but we'll have to see there.
True. Middle lane? No. Okay, so Pebbles just by himself. Currently, 2-minute rune coming out. Regen bottom. Not really a ganking rune, unfortunately, for Rhapsody, so instead she'll just kind of, well, leave it there, apparently. Maybe leave it for Ophelia or somebody else to take it. But Regen rune, again, not the most effective level 1 for setting up kills, obviously. Top lane, Glacius kind of boxing out Casey the best that he can. So Casey, once again, off to a pretty poor start, just like he was last game. And before you know it, he was fully farmed, had a Behemoth's Heart, Wing Bow, and everything else, apparently. So it's not that big of a deal and understandable. He's kind of struggling early on. I mean, creep farm overall seems like going slightly better for the Hellborn side. Doctor 15-5 up there. You got Moraxis middle lane 10-3 right now. It gets actually 12-3 Pebbles, so Pebbles is managing the better. Regen are going to be bottled up by Rhapsody there, so that's what she was leaving it for. Eventually go pick it back up, and now Pebble is going to be a little bit more willing to perhaps use that Chuck for some harassment here, possibly. Make some action happen. But, I mean, middle lane matchup, Moraxis versus Pebbles really is, you see that going either way, or just a matter of general assistance, perhaps, or what?
I guess it depends, actually, whether, you know, Zlap to get involved, actually bottom lane.
Speaking of getting involved, trying to be involved down here, but nope. Kinesis back too quickly.
The Glacius is actually here. I think it's going to depend actually on the rotation from the secondary support of Glacius or the actually win lane.
Yeah, Alonia is going to be collapsing over here. Moraxis in the back down. He missed the stun actually. Pebbles, he's going for the kill. He doesn't even need to. Rhapsody finishes off the job. Pebbles now, he has that regen, remember. The Axe, the auto attack is going to get the regen off. The Apollo charge is just barely enough. He survives and he gets a turn kill. Unbelievable play right there. And actually, he's going to go for the hat trick. No, it's a double jab, but still, 3 kills in total for the team.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
How did Mickey live is just absurd. But he was just using the bottle charges correctly and the mana battery too, and Rhapsody's staccatos came out at the exact right time. It didn't help that Moraxis missed a stun.
That is true, but still, like 3v2, and they actually turn for a 2 versus. Oh my! I'm baffled, man. Like you said before, I'm speechless. That was pretty crazy, but in the end, and actually quite an interesting thing that actually what Slap's doing over here, he's actually kind of double pulled actually onto the hard camp. Sometimes we see that actually Glacius might be in trouble.
Well, he runs into Glacius. Here comes Torture. Torture hits the chain of reactions. That is a dead fuse in. Kinesis trying to get a turn kill on a Torture. He's going to up and burst. We see right there the potential of Kinesis, but it's not enough. and Ophelia's assistance does the work. You know, I mean, Willowkeeper and this is an aggressive team. Boxy, the player, you know, these players, they're aggressive players, but I'm getting at, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes like it's 50-50. Other times it'll be like this, where just nothing is working for them. And all of a sudden they're down 5-0, and it's because they were the ones trying to play aggressive, not the other way around.
Exactly. It's one of those things like it can work and we can praise it, so no, that's a really big play. But in the end, actually top lane though, Doc's do a lot of damage to Mageman, but it's not going to be enough though. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're not too far behind though. It's 5 minutes in, they're only 1,000 gold behind and 1,000 experience, which isn't too much. Seeing as they're 5 kills behind, actually, it actually is not too bad in that sense, actually. So in that case, not too bad. And also, obviously, the real scare, honestly, will be when Pebbles gets his portal kit and Ophelia starts picking up the team for items. And obviously, it's quite far away from that. So in between then and now, there's a lot of chance for Tree to get back into this game.
There is. If anything, just don't let that get to your head, of course, and continuing on. And Dr. Repulsor, again, Baltazar played the Doctor just like last game. It's not the lead by any means, I think, at last game, as the game picked up just yet, but still going to perhaps be relying on him quite a bit, just like last game, to ultimately make a comeback and provide a victory for his team and eventually move on to game number 3, of course. So, but that's still plenty to come. 6.5 minutes into this game. Obviously, still a lot of things to happen, including Kinesis once again kind of pushing up the middle lane a little, or the bottom lane, excuse me, a little bit. He's 21-9 creep farm, Torture 21-4. So as far as creep farm goes, actually Boxy is managing pretty well down here. But of course, dying doesn't help with that. And Torture getting the 2 hero kills as a benefit of that. In fact, he's going in himself. Does he have the impalement? He's not going to use the impalement, actually. Not worth the mana.
Well, Rhapsody.
Right there, but Rhapsody is running over the haste rune. I don't think it's going to work, though. Kinesis actually throws the stay start. Goes for the turn kill. No, Rhapsody survives. Kinesis, that was just the telekinetic lift, not the mass control. But in the meantime, Pebbles in the middle lane. He is going to be gone, and he will fall. And a lot of that, I'm sure, had to do with probably Rhapsody missing. They knew that, of course, so they go and commit for the kill.
And look, I mean, 1 kill, and they're actually kind of made the goal to back up to it. So that they, the 4 kills down. The golden, the GPM is not too bad, honestly, coming out from Tree. So in that sense, I mean, they've got 4 kills to really make up for it, and with those 4 kills, they're going to be very, very much ahead. So in that sense, I mean, yeah, okay, they are down in terms of kills, but there's nothing that Tree can't come back from. So that's fine. Yeah,
no, again, it's very, very early on, so especially after that, despite the hero kill saying 5-1, it's not that big of a difference, really. And again, Dr. Repulsor being a big part of that, the creep farm as well, just like last game too. Is 49-19. I mean, this guy is just, his APM, I didn't check it after the game, but Balthazar's APM must be pretty high, honestly, compared to others, as he's just on top of those last hits and making sure that is happening here. So, just continuing to go at the top lane. You do see Mageman kind of moving around a little bit right here. He is level 6. I guess he's going to be camping the 8-minute rune. Just a refreshment rune, unfortunately. But at least a little bit of regen there. Suicide Kinesis, hasn't worked out the best in the end. Not the most impressive stats there. As 0-2 overall. Only 2 games, though. Boxy, obviously, trying to change that trend. But, again, a couple times we have seen Kinesis. It goes back to, this hero has burst potential. It's pretty impressive. And the great thing about the synergy of the abilities, especially since the changes and everything happened, the idea that it's passive with the shield, whatever it's called, the inherent defense, the more damage you're dishing out, the more tanky you become throughout those fights. So it's like, you better kill him early on, or else he'll just get snowball in fights because of that. So even as a Suicide Kinesis, I'm sure he could still have some good potential. I mean, we saw even earlier he didn't get the kill, but a lot of burst potential. Definitely to happen.
Exactly. Again, though, like talking of Tree and their sort of magic, sort of heavy drafts, Kinesis obviously incredible amount of burst potential on magic. But once we see stronger heads on Magebane, Torturers, even maybe Pebbles as well, and they might be in a little bit of an issue. But for the now, it shouldn't be too bad. Bottom lane.
Kind of going back and forth once again. Impalement is up, but nope. Boxy just out of range. The boots of his. giving him enough distance. Middle lane in the meantime, Arcane Shield was used right there by Mirax. I don't think it absorbed anything. Shot could already happen. Actually, you know what they tried? They tried to do the 4-man Sportic with the Minotaur right there again. Chucked in the Minotaur, but this time it does not work, unfortunately. And instead, he'll just continue to farm up with Pebble. So Ophelia tries her presence. Not to be had, though. Glacius is nearby. And if, I figured that might have been a chance of any right there, but nope. Pebbles and Rhapsody kind of falling back now, and I don't think Glacius is going to get a better opportunity. So yeah, he starts to fall back. And it's probably just going to stack in the meantime as Dr. Pulsar kind of going a little bit different of the way to build it, but still going a Nullstone in the end. He goes to Sustainer first this time around. Unlike last game where he went the full Blessed Orb first. So the same end result once again, but a little bit different there. As far as the initial build-up. Is he committing? Okay, he wants that tower kill. He still wants it, man. You see the port in from Rhapsody coming out. It's so close. Oh, maybe. No, denying the tower. Well played right there by Sync Esports. Baltzar knew that he was pretty free to kind of stand there his ground, but in the meantime, Pebbles getting locked down. There's the absolute zero coming out. You just look at the flash freeze, everything else down goes Pebbles. I mean, a lot more there, but
yeah, like for the second time, when Insane is not on the lane, you know, Tree really do try and make a point of it to try and gank. Obviously, when Insane isn't there in the middle lane, and again they pick off mid case, so it's just going to be further and further away from his portal case. So really well played out from Tree. And again, though, look, they've only took another kill, and they're actually ahead by quite a bit in gold. Actually, they are behind in XP, of course, but still 3 kills left to go to try and negate the 5 kills of Zinc. And already they're ahead, so I mean, clearly it's a different game just in game 2 here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just crazy to think. In fact, glancing over at that chat of the stream, and again, 6-minute delay, and look at the chat. They're all saying GG well played after it's 5-0 early on for Sync, and I can understand that, being Sync after all up 1 game to nothing, a 5-0 hero can lead. Middle lane in the meantime, Miraxus, he gets pulled in. He throws out the stop throw as soon as he gets charged down. Now Matrix is on cooldown. But here comes more response. Alonia joining the party. Dr. Pulsar comes in. He got stunned right away, though. Is he going to fly in? No, he's not. It's not worth overextending, he says. And instead, he'll play it safe. You saw Pebbles right there. He actually got ported back as well. So Doctor choosing to save the mana when it's all said and done. But yeah, it's the fact that they were down 5-0, trying to commit for kills, getting completely turned. It really says something about Willowkeeper, and especially where they're at in this game, that the fact that they had a goal lead even for a little bit right there, and if anything is still very even practically identical, is great news for them. So
yeah, and actually if you see the stat that Quincy posted, actually Tree gold efficiency is actually a lot higher, as well as the pre-kill efficiency as well. Actually is higher for Tree, so clearly Tree showing that although they're down 5 kills or 5 deaths, they're still back in this game, and they're gonna fight for their right to be in this series.
To party.
Exactly.
Fight for the right to party. Middle lane, the tower, below half-life right here. It's going to fall. It's just a matter of maybe deny or not. Alonia is going to come in, harass a little bit, and vulnerability comes out. They're coming in for the side as well. Kinesis coming in with the Ghost Marchers, actually. That tower, again, will it be denied? Yes, it will. Rudizy gets there in time. Playing the Alonia and is able to attack to get the deny on the tower. But how about that, too, though? Ghost Marchers on Kinesis as his first item here. Boxy going very extra aggressive even. So Suicide Kinesis. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, top lane? Yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, going back to, I don't know. It's understandable in the sense that one issue that Kinesis has always had is his mobility. That's why we normally see like the tablet of command. But at the same time, Kinesis doesn't have the greatest of fight. Bottom lane.
Yeah, they're going to go in right here. Speaking of those Ghost Marches, allows them to buy the distance to get close enough to torture. You just see that damage constantly coming out. Is it going to be enough? That's a question. It will be. Krake gets credit for the kill. It just kept happening, man. I mean, trees just flying all over the place.
The mobility, though, of the Kinesis with the Ghost March is rather absurd. Like, normally you see the tablet just increases mobility, but with the Ghost March, it doesn't even need the tablet.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a little bit of an issue in the sense that obviously he has quite low HP, and obviously you can't take the greatest effect of sort of steam boot swapping in terms of getting as many spells off as possible. But sometimes the mobility and the sort of the increased movement speed is a lot more important than just increasing your health pool or your mana pool by a little bit. So in this case, I actually do like the Ghost March. He looks like he's going to build a tablet as well, so even more mobility. And as long as obviously he can get his spells off, then it doesn't matter too much that he hasn't gone for steam boots. And I do like the item pickup, especially as he is doing a lot of ganking, a lot of roaming. So I do like the item pickup from boxing.
Something that I was reminded of when he went for that Cone of Torture and eventually got it was, speaking of the passive earlier, how it's just so much mitigation, the more damage he does. But it also increases his movement speed. I had to double check that, but yeah, sure enough, you gain additional movement speed based on the shield's value. So, again, the more damage you do, not only the more tanky you become, but the faster you become. So, we're really just talking about a hero that's all about the magic snowball presence in that sense, again, throughout these fights. He most certainly is it. Now, he's getting a little bit more stat items, obviously the Major Totem, the Amulet of the Exile, working towards a tablet, so he's going to be able to cast more and more. And enough of a threat to hold off this bottom tower push initially, at least. And it's probably, they're going to be able to deny this tower. One auto attack, there you go. It's in deny range, and the rest of the Legion team, they fall back. They're not going to commit to that, so... I will say Zlap's presence here on Ophelia, usually by now, he's a lot more... I mean, he has been active, but again, it's just Willowkeeper's been able to react to it just enough in time.
True. And also, like, comparing his game of Parasites to this one, it just really is lacking. And this is what I mean. In Game 1, I think Zinc clearly had the superior draft and the superior sort of strategy. But actually, top lane Mageman might be in a little bit. Mageman should be fine. No mana on Doctor Repulsor. But yeah, so in Game 1, there was a clear advantage in terms of the strategy and draft count from Zinc. But in this one, a little bit more even in terms of the draft and strategy. And look at the Golden Experience, they're completely dead even. So, and this is what I mean. Tree can contend, but the one issue sometimes they do have is their draft and is sometimes their game strategy. Whereas Zinc, normally in that sense, they're the more experienced team. They probably have the better sort of draft and sort of strategies. But when that's equal, I mean, they are definitely a top-tier team, and they can contest even for that #1 spot. So.
I wonder, does Kazu have one of his educationals out for Magebane? Because he has 2-2-1, and so the rest are in stats. So you spend 5 points right there. That means he has 5 points in stats currently. And I'm guessing he did something similar last game because we noticed that later on. So it's like... I mean, that's interesting. You don't often see a hero getting 5 to stats early on, maybe other than like a Swiftblade. But we're so used to that. But it's just different. And maybe, especially with a Suicide Mage, man, that's the biggest difference maker there. He needs to be able to tank up and be able to survive a little bit longer. Take that harassment, I guess. But worth noting there. Of course, no points in the Masters of the Mantra. I always max it out first, man. Ability's OP. Not really. Torturer, that's a quick clear of the Ancients. And actually, Pebbles got the majority of that, and there you go. Portakey picked up, so... Yeah, that's pretty efficient. Portakey in the end. Mickey is, not the prettiest of starts. 1-2-1 right here, but... Hey, 17.5 minutes, not too shabby. Got the portal key. Doesn't have it just yet, actually. The courier's not coming towards him. There you go. And that's kind of unfortunate, because if it was coming towards him this whole time, he might have been able to jump, actually, but no. Maybe not in the end. Doctor continues to farm in his own jungle as he's working towards the Hellfire now. Just like last game. Don't see a reason to be much different here as far as the build goes for him. Portakey access as well. Always important to note. So both teams have their star initiators ready to go in that sense. How's Flensmeister doing? He's got a lot of build-up here. Got the Grave Locket, a bottle of power supply, Mystic Vestments, jeez. And those steam boots, so.
Swindle melons.
Yeah, the Swindle melon style, yeah.
Be jealous.
That's true.
But yeah, and I mean, Doctor's closing on the Hellfire, and we talked about obviously in Game 1, quite important, particularly against the Mageman as well, but I think Mageman's had a little bit of a better start actually. I mean, he's picked up the Energizer as well, most likely going to be working towards the Abyssal Skull, just like in Game 1. But it seems like he had a little bit better time. I think he was a lot more 1v1 against the Doctor Repulsor at the start, so had a bit of a better time. Kinesis is recovering quite well as well, actually 240 when he was sort of 190, 180 in the laning phase. And I mean, we talked about how Kinesis has been played a little bit as a secondary support, but obviously as a core as well, I mean, the amount of burst potential that this hero can do is absolutely insane. I mean, he's actually second on the damage chart. Only a little bit below actually Doctor Repulsor, and this is a suicide kinesis as well, so absolutely insane, the hero. It actually looks like they might even defend here the top tier 1, so team fighting coming most likely.
Yeah, you see Dr. Repulsor, he's setting up. He is fully charged right now, ready to go. And looking for the opening, just a matter of when he wants to choose to do so. Okay, auto attacking out, so kind of showing himself now, and that'll give Sync some information that.
Yeah. I was just saying, I'd like to see them go. They just saw Mageman down bottom lane. He doesn't have a TP, like whereas Miraxis does. Sorry, they could take this 4v5 with Mageman not even being there. And Kinesis is somewhat setting up. It looks like. I think they should go.
Oh, Pebble says he's going to go. He gets ported back, though. So, see, yeah, that was being a little creative, but this might backfire, actually. Protective Mountain comes out. However, backfire, I say, for Dr. Repulsor, apparently. He gets bursted out. Here comes Kinesis, though. Mass Control comes out. Down goes Torture, down goes Ophelia. Rhapsody is in trouble as well, but Pebbles, he comes back into the fight. He's looking to clean up. This has been such an odd fight right here. Rhapsody barely alive. She's going to survive, it looks like, in the end, as no more mana left to Miraxis. Magebane now finally here. Kinesis, he is low. He is dead low. I mean, Sync won that. I'm shocked. That Sync won that.
First of all, it was 4v5 because Mageman wasn't there. Then it was 3v5 because Pebbles got ported back. But the amount of burst potential coming out from Torture was so much that Dr. Repulsor just couldn't survive. If Dr. Repulsor survived there and they had a bit of a better initiation, that could have been an absolutely massive fight for Tree. And honestly, a little bit of a bad play count from Zing, but the capitalization for Tree just wasn't there, unfortunately. And now they're going to lose the tier 1 tower on top. I mean, the Golden Experience Lead, again, just isn't the biggest of what I expected it to be. But still, actually, TP's coming in. Magebane should be fine, most likely.
Yeah, maybe. No, he has a TP. He's going to blink again here in 2 seconds. Pebbles comes in. He was waiting for his support coming. Mana Rift kills Glacius, but at what cost here? Pebbles, he's in some trouble now. Morax is chasing. The Flesh freezes down, or Frigid Fuel, whatever the frick it's called. Anyways, down he goes. And who died? Pebbles died. Okay. I was trying to look up the name right there. So 1-for-1 exchange, obviously, in the end as they come in.
Sure.
Kizu eventually ports out Torturer. He's just out of range, it looks like.
But yeah, like, that team fight was so weird. But in the end, Kinesis, Tree did not actually capitalise on it, so a little bit of a shame there.
Yeah.
And you saw Doctor, like, even though he has the null stone, he does drop so quickly, particularly to the torment of Torturer, especially at these early levels. The torment does so much damage, 100 magic damage per second, plus obviously the impalement and the chain reaction. Just too much to handle. That's why obviously he needs the health power and the strong and head eventually.
I mean, he dove right at it. I thought for sure that was a smart choice. Like I said, with Pebbles getting ported back, I was like, and it's understandable why they committed to that like they did, but it clearly backfired, and Torture really showed up. In fact, the damage chart says, okay, I thought Torture was actually going to kind of overtake after that, honestly. But, he's up there, but actually Alonia leading the way overall as far as overall hero damage goes, and kind of it's just a even spread right there. What's going on over here? Just illusions, it looks like, from Kinesis, kind of spotting things, and Magebane just stealing the Ancients. Yeah, Alonia. Okay.
I was going to say, they can't give that up there. It's so big, but in the end, Magebane just gets them low enough, and then Tree will gladly accept top lane.
Top lane, Dr. Repulsor. He dodges the chain reactions. Dodge or miss by Flens Bust. I don't know what you want to call it, but either way, not really the biggest deal once again, as both will just kind of fall back from one another. Continue to farm elsewhere. So again, though, just like last game, Dr. Repulsor, he is farming really well, even with the death recently. 412 gold per minute right now. The experience, Quincy busting out the stat earlier, of especially when he farms like this, and the experience, usually a very good result for him and his team. So trying Baltazar doing his best to force a third game for Willowkeeper here against Sync Esports, and is on his way to the Hellflower. 1,900 more gold saved up for more axes once again. So we'll see what he follows up with. Magebane almost has that Abyssal Skull. In fact, probably getting delivered right here. There you go. He has that now. And again, just like last game, it's slow start, but he gets scary. Gets dangerous. That's what they're banking
Yeah,
on.
actually, I think in this game, I think we might actually see a Hellflower Miraculous. Also, we saw the Hellflower on Farah, I think, last game,
Yeah.
so they did pick up 3 Hellflowers. But I think in this game, actually, they might see a Hellflower Miraculous, because although Kinesis could definitely pick up a Hellflower, just having that extra initiation factor with the portal key instant Hellflower would be a good pickup. We'll have to see here. He might go for the Bulwark, but I think building the Hellflower would be a little bit stronger here for the Miraculous. Obviously, he has a lot of mana issues in itself, and Hellflower, great build up and great mana regen as well. So, in that sense, having a second Hellflower to deal with the Mage Man, to deal with the Shrunken Head Pebbles, which is most likely coming in the next couple of minutes, would be perfect.
Yep, I was, okay, there's an update from the Gold Cycle. We were talking about that one. It looks like The Last of Us actually did defeat Shrek Is Love. 2-1 in the winter brackets finals of the Gold Division. So that means, actually, The Last of Us has qualified for Diamond for Cycle 3, no matter how that finishes off over there. So, obviously, congratulations to them and being in the grand finals as well.
Can't stand having
I
lost.
know, right? Double USA. Bring it on. Twisted Fusion and Shrek Is Love will face in the losers bracket finals to see which team advances on to both the grand finals and, of course, Diamond, more importantly. So,
does that mean we have to call him like Nullstone Gaming, The Last of Us?
we actually should call them Nullstone Gaming.
What about when Nullstone Gaming versus The Last of Us actually
God.
happens? That's going to be so
good.
bad to cast.
That's going to be fun times. But yeah, so again, congratulations to them, and they were the actually ones running Defiler too in that game 3, if I'm not mistaken. So Defiler coming through, man. That AoE silence, huge. All right, Kinesis pushing out the bottom line. He actually gets a glowstone here. Staff of the Master, is that considered good on Kinesis? I mean, it does increase the amount of things that he can lift up, so thus more damage. As well as just the raw stats, but
yeah, I mean, the Staff Master is good in itself, but at the same time, we might even see a icon of the goddess actually as well.
True.
Obviously, increasing his sort of tanking survivability in sort of combination with the inherent defense. I mean, it wouldn't be surprised if he does go for the icon of goddess actually, but I mean, he could go for the staff as well. I don't think it's going to be a straight out staff in that sense. That's why I think it's going to be an icon, but we'll have to see in the next couple of minutes.
yeah.
I mean, the staff is not too bad, but if you're going to go for full out damage, I think there's a slightly few better items to pick up than just the straight Staff of the Master.
Definitely.
And icon does make a little bit more sense, like increasing sort, kind of like the Oogie factor. Like you get a couple of kills and you tank up with obviously the ulti from the Oogie, but also sort of similar to the inherent defense here of Kinesis as well. So.
You know what I'm kind of realizing about the lineup of your Willowkeeper? They're very blue. It's a very blue lineup. You got Kinesis, Alonia, Glacius, and even Doctor is like blue. Flying around with that blue energy and stuff. Moraxis is kind of the odd man out here. He's the outcast. He's like, I'm just red and I'm a train. I'm going to freaking stomp your face. I don't know if he says that, but... Anyways, just like Beef used to bring up the whole beard strat.
Beard stuff, yeah. I was gonna say. Talking
Classic
of beef,
beard
though,
strat.
I mean, he can't eat McGriddles. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that's true. I know he was tuning in earlier. I wonder if he's realizing that yet, or he's in denial. He's probably in denial.
He's probably in denial.
There's no way that's...
He's probably gone off and just sort of stockpiled some McGriddles.
I think it kind of goes back to, did we really notice? No, but it's going to be funny, though. Doctor, he actually avoids death right there. That was pretty close. Pebbles went in with the combo, and Torture, I believe he just missed the chain reactions before he was able to ulti away, so actually buys a health potion from the observatory using the courier. Gonna heal on up, be fine for now, but no! Pebbles was right into the mid-chucks Kinesis back into his teammates, because Talbot forward, he has the mass control off, the big burst getting it off, he's locked down, he gets it off, but it doesn't matter. Alive is a feeling, but actually it does matter, because Kinesis, he's taken, not enough, the mana rift comes out, and down he goes, but in the background, Torture and Pebbles go down. Moraxis was able to jump in right there, set it up, absolute zero from Melodia, doing work as well, and now Moraxis, however, he is on the run. Mage Man, that mana burn, doing work, but not scary enough.
I saw that Kinesis. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The Rapsy out as well.
It was sitting there like it was in the air. You were just waiting for him to use it, and then finally used it. And yeah, Ophelia lived through it, but it was more so than just the so tankiness close. He became.
Yep.
As a result of that too.
Ophelia was so close to dropping, but without the Rapsy outcry from Insane, he was definitely dead. But again, look at that, a good team coming from Tree, and now they're actually leading in golden experience. I was kind of surprising to myself in itself, but I mean, Dr. Pulse is closing on that shrunken head as well, and I think Zinker must be a little bit scared, honestly. Oh, yeah, they do have the Mage Brain to sort of carry them into the late game, but I mean, well, you said it before, but Insania, slapped on the affiliate has, hasn't done that too much, honestly, really.
Yeah.
In this game, it's only 0-1 and 4. Yeah, he's got okay GPM, but kind of the impact he had on the Parasite is just nothing compared to the impact he's having here on the Ophelia.
Yeah, no, 0 and 4. I mean, that stat right there just tells you exactly. It's not like we're just making stuff up here and nothing to back it up. I mean, he just really has not been able to be involved with this team, unfortunately, and definitely you were used to seeing that being the case more so than not. So a lot of things adding up right now where Willie Keeper should be feeling fairly good. There's another Hellflower picked up. This one on Moraxis. You're stressing that, and just important of an item that is probably going to see it. Sure enough, we do. So they got double Hellflowers here. Shrunken Head in the works for Dr. Repulsor. He's farming up the top lane. There is on the mini-map kind of coming over, but he's going to be able to fall back in time before any catch actually happens here. So, wow, that's true. And a 0-kill Doctor, but it was a 6. Okay. That's crazy, actually. Yeah, Dr. Repulsor 0-1 and 2. So we're talking about Ophelia, and we're still used to seeing him active. But Doctor is usually a hero that will have at least a couple kills by now himself. But yeah, 0-1 and 2, and only 2 assists. So it's not like he's just getting kill stolen from him by any means. Very interesting there. Not really. So he's got the decent farm and has his item and skill set right now to be able to get some solo kills even, but hasn't really been able to get them, obviously, as the stats share. Torturer, 2,600 gold. I kind of wonder what he's going for. I was going to say Barrier Idol seems like a pretty big pickup here on Sync. And sure enough, Ophelia gets it. It's huge against this Hellborn lineup.
Yeah, it was huge against Tree in particular. We talked about, obviously, they always love to run the heavy magic kind of team, and obviously Barrier Idol and Shrunken Head's perfect for that. So
yeah, I guess a lot of teams you maybe usually value the Soul's Bulwark over that, but against Tree and especially this lineup, yeah, get a Barrier Idol. Soul's Bulwark not nearly as efficient.
But there's the Moraxis Hellflare, actually, so that's going to be quite a big deal, actually. And Pebbles still hasn't actually got a Shrunken Head. I mean, we talked about Slap not having the greatest of impact. I mean, Mickey's not had too bad of an impact, but only 4-4 and 2, hasn't got a Shrunken Head yet, and it's only like 30 minutes as well. So, I mean, Tree, they're definitely looking, a lot different compared to sort of game 1 here. They're actually leading, obviously, and they've been leading for a couple of minutes now, and it doesn't look like it's going to change too quickly either. I think actually is there Shrunken Head actually on Dr. Repulsor now as well. So I mean everything's working well here for Tree. So. Yeah.
Mage Bane level 16. He's doing what he's trying to do. I'm trying to factor in the last game as far as by now I believe Mage Bane. I mean he definitely had the Geometer's Bane and was even working towards more at that point. So, yeah, I mean, just overall, just not as efficient of a game here for Sync Esports for where they're at, and definitely to the credit of Willowkeeper. Granted, the hero kill lead still in favor of Sync, 10-8. Remember again, this was a 5-0 start for Sync Esports. Speaking of hero kills, earlier on, that eventually Tree just kind of didn't really let them phase them. They kind of hung in there and did their thing. Balthazar just continued to farm away on Doctor, and before you know it, now they have a decent lead here. As we're zooming on, and let's just been another again. Just I guess we shouldn't be surprised. This is once again proving to be a little bit longer of a game. Every single game today has kind of been this way of just a lot of action earlier on. Start to get in that middle game stage of slowing things down a little bit, picking up some more farm, and then great finishes to them. So why be different here?
Middle lane.
Middle lane, there's a jump on Moraxis. He is by himself currently. Dr. Pulsar flies in, but there's not much he's going to be able to do. However, there's the Matrax buying more time for teammates. Glacius running over. He is able to portal key away. Unbelievable. He gets the portal key up. Did not see that coming.
No.
He actually gets it away. Dr. Diddy's a shrunken.
Yeah, exactly. That was the only thing that is always a little bit bad, but at the same time, that was a definite kill on Morax. So pretty insane how he is able to survive. But I mean, Zinc are feeling ready that they can push now with Doctor, Strong and Head being down, and it's going to be depending actually whether Doctor and Tree do want to defend or not. They are looking like they're just going to sack it and allow it to go down, but most likely they're going to defend the racks if they do push on. But Zink are looking to get the tier 2 top actually. Dr. Foster might be in a little bit of trouble if he doesn't get out of there soon.
Yep, Mickey knew exactly where he was. He lands a stun, chucks him away. There's a ludicrous speed. Oh, the Mana Rift! Holy crap, 1,600 damage! And down goes Doctor. He does not have a buyback, or he's not if he did. In the meantime, they're getting cleaned up. Torture with that Torment.
Wow.
What?
A 1,600 damage.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Doctor's going to be fine. And
Yeah.
then bang!
I knew that ulti's powerful, man, but yeah, that you always start. What? Blah. Pick it up against Dr. Repulsor. That's why right there.
Are they going to lose racks here as well? Oh my gosh, what just happened in the last couple of minutes there? Like, wow. What has just happened?
I don't know. Yeah, this is just Sync's just like, you know what? We want to win this game. They went for the win, and Doctor got now. Staff of the Master is finished on Kinesis, so he does have even extra burst now. He's trying to set up, but there's no way he can do anything by himself, obviously, as bursty as he can be. And so thus not able to do anything in the end. Now the middle tower going to be taken out. It really is. Yeah, like in the literally a blink of an eye right there. All of a sudden, Sync's in a pretty hefty lead, and they're in a very good spot now.
Right, so like a minute ago, Tree were up by like 1,000 gold. Now they're actually behind almost 10,000 gold. They've lost their racks top lane, and their tier 3 is missing. And that all goes back to one pickoff from Doctor. They're playing a little bit, maybe a bit too ballsy when he should have just got back. And the Mage Bane Mana Rift doing so much damage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. What? I mean, Tree must be thinking themselves, what the f just happened?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jeez.
Well, again, that started too. Mickey, it wasn't a completely blind. I mean, they knew that he was there initially, but as far as guessing where he was going to be after the fact, he guessed correctly. And you can almost like a Balthazar. Why not ulti even just further away at that point just to be safe? He did a very short distance just to the tower. But again, they can't see what we can see. We always go back to that, so it's a lot easier for us to sit here and say that. But you got Willowkeeper. They're not going to let this phase them too much. They're trying to push back in. Now, Pebbles, that is a fake Pebbles right there. Lucky for Willowkeeper, they didn't bite on that, because that could have been pretty devastating for them. So, in the end, they will fall back, though. Sync holds it off. They deny the tower on top of it all. And we'll just continue to go back to farm. But yeah, Mage Bane exactly. All of a sudden now, he is getting very scary. 385 gold per minute and progressing. As the Geometer's Bane, another 2,800 gold saved up. More and more powerful. God, 1,600 damage coming out right there. On to Dr. Repulsor. Imagine if that was imagine if there were other heroes around.
Yeah, sure, that would be like
thing.
insane, right? But we go on and talk about obviously like the Mage Bane Oogie. I think that was like when Trouth played like Oogie like ages ago, and I think TDM actually Repsy might be in trouble, maybe.
Yeah, she's hiding. She's like, I know I'm in trouble, but I'll just stick around here and hopefully they just never spot me. Okay, she tablets away. In the meantime, at the bottom lane, those are fake Mage Banes. Sending in the looks, and she actually gets away. They were so distracted, never mind. Look at the collapse. They're all just like, you're not getting away, Insania. And he doesn't.
But yeah, just going back to obviously like the Mage Bane versus Oogie, and you could say that the same with Mage Bane versus Dr. Repulsor as well. Like a hero that is so reliant on his mana and can absolutely get crushed with like the mana rift, as we saw there. I mean, I guess this is why you think keep on picking up the Suicide Mage Bane, and why not? But at the same time, why a Tree keep on picking up the Dr. Repulsor? In a sense, a little bit of a one-trick pony in that sense, and it's obviously good to see Zink picking up the hero counters, counter, I guess, the Dr. Repulsor. But still, just going back to that top lane, absolute blink of an eye. But at least they are going to most likely get Kongo here, so that's going to be one thing. But they did lose their range racks in the top lane. But at least they do have the Token of Life here on Dr. Repulsor going forward.
Yeah. Got that now to work with, so very good news indeed for the Hellborn team, for Willowkeeper, but has no doubt got a mental say that has had to hurt them so much. They're down 1-0. They were in a decent spot here in Game 2, and then just, again, a blink of an eye, a snap of a finger, whatever you want to say. It just completely turned, and all of a sudden your top racks are dead. You're down 9,000 gold. Obviously, that's closing a little bit, but still. Work to do for Willowkeeper, as you already see Haxer, though, progressing the same way as he did last game. He's got the axe in the Malphite, working towards that Behemoth's Heart, and then eventually, following that up with a Wingbow, of course. But the point being, he did this last game, it worked out very well in the end. Why not do it again the second game? I mean, so the Staff of the Master, though, was the item choice for boxing once again, playing Kinesis. Middle lane, they do get a catch on Insania. Dies pretty quickly, so this is how the hero works, unfortunately, by herself at least.
So the Staff of the Master is picked up, actually, and I guess they just decide that they need a bit more burst potential. And I guess that makes sense as well. Like, if they picked up the icon, it obviously would have been quite a bit later than you'd kind of wanted it to happen. And as a result, then the kind of effectiveness of maybe getting the charges wouldn't have been there. So, Staff Master is good. Obviously, increases the amount of trees and objects you can obviously lift, so it'll increase the burst potential. And at the same time, obviously increasing his inherent defense charges as well. Actually,
Mage Bane in trouble. Yep, they spotted him. Now, can they lock him down long enough? Do they stagger the best right here? Mage Bane's trying to get away. No, he cannot. They did stagger it correctly, and they get the kill on a Mage Bane as a result. And that's obviously a very, very big kill right now for Willowkeeper. He cannot buy back either. And actually, bottom lane, even Torturer, he's going to be able to pour it out before getting caught right there, so we'll be fine. But Dr. Pulsar still flying, or where the hell did he go? Okay, he's still here.
He's got reaching. Oh, no.
Okay. But he has the Hellflower back up. He's looking for an opportunity. They jump Pebbles. In the meantime, yes, he will follow. Ophelia's nearby. Storm Spirit's his teammate, delaying the inevitable right there. Well, no, also helping him get away right there as he ports him out. So good coordination from Zlapt with Mickey. And actually saves him. But yeah, Keizu remaining dead. I didn't have a buyback even if he wanted to use it. So the pick successful and more time to kind of feel a little bit more free to farm here. And Balthazar taking advantage of that. He's going to try to steal the Ancients, which he does. He leaves, sends some illusions into Scout, and there you go. He skirts on out of there. The ultimate. So well played on his part. And again, this supporting cast too. It's Kinesis is one thing, the Staff of the Master, but Alonia's starting to get to a point where she is more and more of a threat. She has a Portal Key, so looks like she's going for a shrunken head here. Again, I would have loved to see that Staff of the Master, man, but understandable. Wants to be able to survive, and that makes sense. The shrunken. But yeah, my point is, it's more than just the Doctor, of course. That's
exactly. Yeah, and actually the farm actually on Root of Z is quite impressive actually.
Yeah.
I mean, like we used to sort of see him quite a bit of. He's level 16 now as well, so there's a lot of damage. I mean, particularly with the Kinesis as well. The only shrunken head is actually the Pebbles here. So, if they can get even a Health Flower on the Pebbles or even on the Mage Bane, there's a lot of burst potential that can be bursted down. Obviously, Mage Bane is going for the Behemoth side, but still, there's so much burst potential. It wouldn't surprise me if they can cut through that. He's only got 2,200 HP at the moment, and obviously with all the burst potential that Hellbourne do have, actually, quite interesting. Actually, the Savage Mace is being picked up by the Doctor Repulsor. So instead of picking up the Sheep Seat, he goes straight for the Savage Mace, which is quite interesting to note as well.
Yeah. It definitely is. It definitely is. So that's going to be delivered right here to Dr. Repulsor. So even more of a damage threat definitely coming out. And Vizrun also picked up. And is Mage Bane in trouble again? I mean, he has a lot of cheap support nearby though. Yeah, not by himself.
He can't kill him. Yeah, 1v1 they wouldn't be able to do him. And also the team support is there as well.
Yeah. So not going to go for that. Instead, kind of just scouting things out. Finding the middle lane. Torture right here. Now he has support nearby. He does not want to let him get away. They're going to open. Now again, there is support. Down goes Torture right there. They could not react in time. And all of a sudden, Rhapsody now in trouble. She's trying to get away. Using that tap, but the chase continues. Oh, look at the damage. The auto attacks from Dr. Storm Spirit. Does she get ported back? No, she doesn't. She falls. Does Rhapsody. So it was a little risky, but it does pay off.
Tree, they want this, man. They really, really want this. They want to take it to a game 3 at least. The big pickup on Torture, and then they followed up on the Rhapsody. It's most likely going to be a tier 2 as well. Congo is still dead, so obviously they can't really take any use of that. And I don't think they're going to be able to push high ground. But I mean, look at the experience lead, 7,000 experience. The gold lead only 2,000 now after the tier 2. I mean, Tree, they are really, really pushing it for a game 3 here.
Yeah, and at this point, if this keeps up, you'd like to think that's going to be the case. But again, we we were thinking like they were continuing to look they were going to be in a good spot, but obviously that 1600 damage mana rift came out before we knew it, and all of a sudden Sync just completely wiped them up. And that's another big thing. Even now the league growing back in favor of Willowkeeper, you do have the top racks are down in favor of Sync, so that's something Willowkeeper is going to constantly have to be going back to. Alonia did get it, yep.
Yeah,
I just noticed that. She did get the Staff of the Master. Awesome. All right. Again, for those that may not know, that was more recent of a change, but her ultimate now will come back to her, basically. So as she absolute zeros, it goes out, then it'll shoot back towards her, and it stuns everyone as well when it does that. With the so it's yeah, it's strong. It's strong.
Exactly.
Does it increase damage as well? I don't know if it does. It's general. Okay. Well, anyways, 3,800 gold saved up on Kinesis in the meantime.
And 2 Staff of the Masters on the same team as well. That's kind of rare to see.
That is not every day, but it is happening right here. You do see Dr. Pulsar continue to farm away, this time in the middle lane. Cleaning that up. As far as the positioning for Sync, you could tell. They know they can't overcommit here. Again, you got Keizu. Wait a second. Did Keizu go away at Behemoth's Heart last game?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Haxorn also go that earlier?
No, we were just talking about it.
Okay.
We just saying how Haxorn always goes like Behemoth's Heart back.
Yeah. But that wasn't Haxorn playing it.
No, you always you said that twice actually. You said, "Oh yeah, Haxorn picking up the Behemoth's Heart." I was like, no, "That's Keizu," but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh god. Please do next time I do that. That really just hit me for some reason. Yeah, middle lane, Dr. Pulsar. Can they lock him down long enough? No, they cannot. Magebane not the best follow-up for that. And so Doctor does make the getaway. A very big opportunity once again for Sync right there. But Doctor flies away, is going to be fine. And continues to farm. So, but yeah. So Haxorn usually known for doing that, but Keizu kind of following suit, I guess you could say. He does have the Behemoth's Heart now, though. 2,600 life pulled up on him. Still, though, it's much later than last game. Goes back to that as far as...
Yeah, I mean, like, normally I think we've seen like around 470, 480 GPM carry from the mage, but he's only 391 at the moment, and he hasn't really broke that 400 GPM. And there's the ulti coming out from Alonia, actually, just to delay the push.
Yeah. I mean, it's a short cooldown, 60-second cooldown, so... It's going to be back. I don't know, though. That was used fairly early as Miraxis. Is that... Okay, he does jump the real Mage Man right there. Dr. Pulsar in the background. Not the biggest follow-up, though. Miraxis, Shrunken Head is used. Matrax used. You see Sync is like, we're fine with that. We'll let you use those abilities and fall back.
Yeah, Shrunken Heads were used, though, on Torture and Pebbles, though. So, in that sense, they did sort of trade in that sense. And obviously, you know, Hellborn or sort of Tree are back in their base now, ready to defend. I thought the initiation was a little bit premature, actually, but in the end, it didn't matter too much.
That's true. So, fall back and continue to farm elsewhere. Magebane sends the illusion spot him, and vulnerability comes out, and it's going to be enough to deny it in the end. Well played by Doctor right there. Flies in, takes care of business. 38 more 100 gold saved up on him. And Kinesis, by the way, he actually buys a Null Stone, or a Void Talisman, excuse me. Void Talisman as well as a Blessed Orb here. So, Void Talisman to help mitigate damage, while still allowing him to cast, of course. The Blessed Orb towards possibly an eventual Sheepstick bottom lane. Doctor, he's thinking about going in. Those are fake Mage Banes, though, so probably not the best.
Rhapsody.
Rhapsody, you'd be in trouble. Oh, just out of range. Apparently going to be fine for the time being. 2,600 gold on Miraxis as well. Again, we saw last game, I believe he went for the Soul's Bulwark there and eventually a full Demonic, so wouldn't be surprised if similar here. Or it could be that Sheepstick. I mean, another initiation tool never hurts. Alonia, yeah, the portal key. Yeah. Secondary support scaling pretty damn well.
I'm actually wondering whether if Doctor's going to pick up a Sheepstick of his own or he's going to try something different. I mean, he did change up his build slightly in the sense that he went for the Savage before the Sheepstick, and I'm wondering if he's going to go for like maybe another damage item. I know it sounds really strange, but even like Rift Shard or something like that. But I mean, they don't have a Sheepstick at all in this team, so it's most likely going to be a Sheepstick. I was wondering he's going to pick up something. Dash top lane.
Yeah, Meraxis gets caught. Sheepstick on him to follow up the stun chain reactions. A lot of lockdown, and that's the reason Meraxis could not do a single thing to get away. So great lockdown comes out, and nice pick for Sync Esports. And, I mean, they're doing a great job of taking their advantages of the ganking flying around. Mage Bane going to get caught, though. The freeze comes out. There's a collection down for the mask control. Everything being used. There goes the Storm Spirit, though, coming out from a field. They try to save the dead kid. She poured it back. He blinks. The port is in the process, and he will be ported back. I am shocked he honestly lived. Alonia catching Pebbles in the meantime, but there's a Shrunken Head. #1 counter right there, and now Alonia all of a sudden in trouble. She goes down. This is not working. Kinesis now gets caught. He ran in for some reason. And now Boxy goes down. Willowkeeper. They had chances, and, well, Sync, they just played a little better.
Yeah, and I don't know. Actually, Dr. Pulse is going on the Pebbles, so this could be big.
Okay. Now he does get a pick off right there. And he's going to go for the TP. Now, is that Superior, isn't it?
Yeah, I was wondering if he's going to ulti.
Unless we're missing something. I mean...
I mean, I can understand, like, if he ulti's there, then obviously the TP is stopped, but Dr. Pulse could just ulti away. He had, like, 3/4 mana,
okay.
but...
So he could have done it, though, if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay. Superior. Yeah, Superior.
So I think that was just a coherent decision there to not do it. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and actually that pickoff on Pebbles was absolutely huge. Like, if that didn't happen, they were most likely losing the racks, if not the game as well. I mean, now actually Zinc do decide to sort of back off and don't decide to push. Because, I mean, with Alonia dead and Kinesis dead as well, they would have been fighting 3v5, and I don't think that's a fight that Tree can win. So, an absolutely key pickoff there onto the Pebble. So, again, Baltazar really making the clutch plays and keeping his team in it, honestly, at the stage of the game.
He's doing his best. 6,700 gold saved up, so again, a lot of options open to him right here. We'll see what that ultimately is. Well, there you go, Frostfoot's Skull. Hey, we saw 2 of those earlier today on the same hero, but he gets his first one right here at least. Dr. Bolster picks up the Frostfoot Skull, nearly 3,000 life. I mean, again, just for stats in general, too, Frostfoot Skull, very good for it. Wait, did he sell it? Okay, he did. Wow. So much for that.
About it. He's thinking, yeah, he's going to maybe go for the sheepstick, or he's just going to go for the blessed orb, then.
Yeah.
And then from there, decide what he wants to go
I still
with.
think he might go the Frosted Skull, but yeah, he wants to have buyback. He's
buyback,
like,
yeah,
might as well be efficient right here. So good cut. That was a late sell too. That was almost getting to the point where it would have been like half cost, and that would have been really embarrassing. Yeah, no, there's 3,000 gold down the drain. Whatever. No big deal.
But yeah, I mean I wonder if Frostwolf Skull is the right decision though, because I mean they don't actually have a sheepstick on the team. Okay, so he's going to go for the Frostwolf because he's just going to go all in on it. But I mean, I think the sheepstick could help quite a bit. Obviously, yeah, they've got the Hellflower to lock down the mage, but he's still able to auto attack. And obviously, he's getting to the stage where he's getting quite scary himself. And even when they've got the Hellflower, it's hard to really lock him down because he's just quite fast anyway with the Energizer, so he can just run away in that sense, unless the control and lockdown is perfect. But at the same time, obviously, Dr. Pulsar, if he didn't pick up the Frostwolf score, he would be very, very squishy in himself. But he's got sort of 3,000 health now as well, sort of similar to the Mage Bane. So
yeah,
and also it's good for Sakai and like the Mage Bane and the Pebbles as well. But I don't know. I would like to see at least one sort of sheepstick. I think Kinesis is working towards it, and maybe Mirax as well.
Oh boy, this is interesting. Kongor, they're not going to go for Kongor Tep. They're actually charging in. Mage Bane in the front lines. He's doing a bit of counter warding there, taking advantage of that bound die, of course, getting ward down themselves. Doctor actually, he scouts it though, and he'll quickly destroy it, preventing the vision from happening there for Sync. So it could have possibly been an engagement, not so much. But again, this goes back to earlier, the top racks being dead. You see, once again, being pushed into the base, they're going to have to fall back at least 1 or 2 heroes to prevent that from going, well, into your shrine, obviously. So they start beating those away. Glacius and Meraxis doing their part, but now Sync, a smart team, they know that the numbers aren't all there for the Hellborn side. And if they can find a pick, this is a big, big chance. So if I'm Doctor, especially Alonia here, pretty scary stuff being in this vicinity. But doing their part to make sure not to give up a Kongor kill by any means at this time. So yeah, the Frosted Skull though and Dr. Repulsor, so tanky. Yeah, the one downside is though, that's just more mana pool to give Mage Bane to work with to get even a bigger ulti off. Obviously, that's never a reason to not get more mana, but still. He's living life kind of on the edge right here. Magebane going in, though, on a Kongor. Starting to see what's up. Going to force a decision here out of the Hellborn team. You do got Glacius is pushing out the top lane, so Glacius not going to be here with the team for the time being. He is running over now, though. Magebane, however, not too concerned, starting to fall back. Now, Magebane's sitting on 4,500 gold once again. Has pulled up quite a bit. So really Sync kind of keeping Willowkeeper occupied. I don't think their intention is to actually kill Kongor. It's just, keeping them distracted.
Yeah, and actually, I was wondering actually if Magebane is going to go for the Wingbow actually, because I mean, in this case actually, Dr. Repulsor picked up Savage Mace before he picked up the Frostwolf or the Sheepstick in game 1, and Magebane's sort of wondering whether he should pick up the Wingbow. Obviously, so yeah, he actually is going to go for the Frostwolf then. I was wondering if he's going to go for the Wingbow or not, and he does decide against it, which makes sense, I guess. There's no point really buying a Wingbow into a Savage Mace from the enemy team. And now, I mean, this is going to help him in terms of the kiting potential with the Frostwolf, and obviously increases his HP as well. So it's going to be quite hard to actually lock down this Magebane without a lot of burst potential, which I guess Hellborn does have, but they'll have to coordinate it perfectly.
Yeah. Obviously getting up to that point, nearly an hour-long game, just about 55 minutes in right here. You see right there, Retreat's 2-0. You got Sync 3-4 overall. They played quite a bit more, but nonetheless, always important to note, especially at this point, buyback situation. Both teams have used only one buyback so far. Pebbles using the one on his side. Moraxis using the one on Willowkeeper's side. So that's kind of where that stands at the time being. And again, just a lot more standoff at the Kongor pit here between these two teams, or at least in the area. Not going to be committing just yet. So yeah, the Frosted Skull for Magebane in the works. Here we go, Dr. Repulsor though. Now he's going to start putting some damage. Now Frosted Skull purchased by Casey right there, so he won't have a buyback at this time. Kind of going all in that sense. And I think that might be because they're realizing that they're going to go for a Kongor attempt as Willowkeeper, and they don't want to just give that up for free themselves either. Oh, this is at that point though. It's so close. If they get the jump, if Doctor can't react in time, there we go. Trying to bait maybe, kind of figuring it out. Not really. Doctor going away. Okay. So kind of a, I'm gonna go in kind of and see what you guys do reaction. But ends up not being much of a reaction with that setting. In fact, Glacius again, he's up here. He's just doing his best to keep them off the tower. At the shrine, the jump going in though. Dr. Repulsor gets locked down. He's going to put it in the air with the stasis smash. Actually, Mana Rift goes out. It's not over the kill though. There wasn't nearly enough mana missing. Unlike last time, Moraxis gets caught in the background though. Even with the Matrax help, he's not going to be taken up most likely. He has a shrunken head. He's trying, man. He gets cut off though, and down goes Moraxis. So at least Sync does get one kill right there in the process, but perhaps most importantly, this should secure Kongor now.
Yeah, I mean, Moraxis does have a buyback, but even if he buys back now, it's too late. The Kongor kill is practically already gone now, so they're going to have to defend with a token on Magebane, which, I mean, 3,600 HP on the Magebane here. I mean, this is going to be hard to bring him down once, let alone twice, so Tree have got to pull out some kind of miracles, actually. Dr. Repulsor going in on the Magebane.
Not really. We're trying to run away and, kind of saying hello right there, but just getting a feel of what's going on. But yeah, that's right. 3,500 alive, 3,600 even with the Seabus on strength on Magebane. That's pretty ridiculous. And again, that's a factor in too. I was going to point it out last game, but the game kind of just finished then, so it didn't matter. But the Magebane, his blink ability, how it gives that magic shield to not only himself but his teammates. And you'll see Magebanes when they're pushing into a base even, they'll just blink very short distance just to get the buff, as it lasts for 7 seconds. I mean, that's 12 magic armor in himself, as well as 5 magic armor for his teammates. I mean, that's not something to forget about as well.
Yeah, particularly as we sort of talk about how Tree, they're all in on that magic damage in terms of their drafts and stuff. So, I mean, not only that, they're massive Dr. Repulsor pickers. And in this sense, I mean, Sync have really done some great drafts, particularly in Game 1, but in Game 2 as well. This Magebane pickoff is really doing work. And seeing as this Magebane was suicide, and being obviously just a little bit lower than the Dr. Repulsor, but I mean there was some big item pickups though. Obviously we've got the Sheepstick now on Kinesis, the Storm Spirit on actually bottom lane. Oh, close.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, Alonia on the Storm Spirit as well. So there's a few pickups that can be quite making a big difference here in the next coming team fight for Tree. But still, the fact of the matter is, going through 2 mage bans is going to be a very hard trek to accomplish.
Banging on the door, Sync Esports. They know the top lane, though. That's to their advantage, so they're not going to go overextending by any means. They're going to play this very patient, as they should, and really keep Willowkeeper guessing, of course. He talked about Sheepstick, finished on Kinesis, so again, he's doing his part to be of a high impact as this game continues to progress here. But no doubt, Willowkeeper has just been on their back foot ever since that top lane happened. Yep. With Doctor getting picked off. I mean, sure, they started to climb back into it, and we're starting to get things going. But as I say this, Doctor might be in trouble once again. Yep, there we go. Pebbles jumps in right here. Here comes the follow-up. The Sheepstick is used. Then Torment's going off. Doctor's dropping right here. He does have a buyback, but that's going to force him to use it, if anything. Will they commit to a push? Now, if you're Sync, again, be a little careful here. Don't go all out. You see off to the side, telekinetic lift from Kinesis. Yeah, Shrunken are down. There we go with the buyback. Marks steps in on a Torture, but take the penalty. It's not going to be stopped. Under the mass control. The Alodia Absolute Zero comes down. The stun's down, but down goes Pebbles. The Stasis smash on the Torture. And Torture, Storm Spirit barely saving him. Not for long, though. He goes down. And now Mage Band in trouble as well. He still has the token, but his team gets completely wiped up. I think Mage Band is going to survive in the long run. That's why I said, though, they needed to be careful about that decision-making. Look at Mage Band. Oh, the Mana Rift to snipe out Glacius. He's keeping them occupied. The Shrine is exposed. He's going for it. He gets locked down by the Savage Mace. He has another blink up at 3 seconds. He might have overextended, though. Keizu, can he get the blink off? No, he cannot. He does have a token. He's going to be able to blink. Will he react in time? No, the stop was perfect. Crack his timing perfect. More lockdown. The Hellfire's up. Down goes Mage Bane. Oh, man, what a fight from Willowkeeper.
Man, Tree, they are fighting. They're fighting so hard. Their back's against the wall, but they are not giving up without a fight. A 5-man wipe. Okay, they lost Glacius, but that's completely nothing now at the moment. But what can Tree accomplish from this? Okay, they picked off the Major, and he's dead for 60 seconds. He does have a buyback, but can Tree get anything from this? I just don't think they can. The lanes are pushed back so far into their sort of side of the map, and I don't think they can push fast enough to really make a difference. But at least they do survive on. They didn't lose any more racks, but like you said, the Shrine is exposed. I mean, expect some kind of maybe backdoor strat come out from Mage Bane, but again, a little bit of a questionable play coming out from Keizu, honestly, though. Like, he had the token, he went in, and I mean, at the same time, good capitalization to sort of take down Mage Bane twice, but
Access, he gets caught. There's the Stasis Smash, or I don't know, yeah, it is a Stasis Smash. It's going to be fine. The Mass Control comes out. He's looking for a notch. Oh, the burst just takes out Rhapsody. Pebble's going to go down as well. Now Torture. Torment is up, but not going to be able to chase our Willie. The Mana Rift, a 1,300 plus Mana Rift right there to finish off Alonia. So Mage Bane loving these targets, but in the end, the rest will get away. But, something I was going to criticize right there from Willowkeeper as you look at their base. Why didn't they push out the top lane, honestly? Why did they push middle right there when the top lane, there's no racks? That's proven to be an issue in this game. I feel like they missed out on that right there. They could have really pushed this lane back and helped.
I mean, at the same time, I think they wanted to try and get some kind of racks, and they had to go through the tier 2 top as well as obviously all the mega creeps. Actually, middle lane, Dr. Pulse going in on Pebbles.
Oh, well, way back here, yeah. I didn't realize he was still around. He's going for an opportunity, but not going to get it. You see that by Pebbles right there, being crafty. Drops the portal key, picks it back up, and uses it. Middle lane, though, exactly. The melee racks goes down. Dr. Pulsar, he was getting distracted. He needed to come back. Not in time, though. Damage done already by Sync. They get the melee racks, got what they came for, as we say, and they are going to fall back now. So, no more buybacks on Meraxis. Doctor obviously still has another one left. As post-haste are being picked up, and worth noting here, too. Doctor has one, Alonia has one on the Legion side. Nobody has one just yet, so. But, look at the Shrine. The Shrine's already at half-life. That is exposed. It will slowly regen, of course. But now, Willowkeeper especially, if they're not careful, they could see some backdooring attempts coming out from Sync. Not that they even need to, really. So.
That's true, yeah, but I mean, it still goes all the way back to the initial massive pickoff onto the Doctor Pulse to the top lane. They got that racks, and look at the amount of work that the top racks has done. Obviously, the Shrine is exposed, and obviously, the later this game goes on, the worse it gets. Now, obviously, the racks being lost middle. And I mean, Tree, they're fighting so hard, but these few little mistakes are making such a big difference when they're going against the top team of Zinc. Yeah, they are ahead in terms of experience of 11,000, but it doesn't feel enough. They just don't feel in control of this game, and they need some kind of pick-off. Actually, this might be a middle lane.
Yeah, they're going for something on a Rhapsody. Doctor is at least. He's living life on the edge, though. He's going to be fine to the end. Storm Spirit comes out, and then he'll just go away. But now he's out of mana, of course.
And one thing to note though is that without the Sheepstick, he's really having quite a lot of mana issues. He has picked up obviously the Frostwolf Skull and the Savage Mace in particular, which I think is good, but at the same time he does have a lot of mana issues. Whereas if you pick up the Sheepstick, he might not have actually had the same mana issues, which is one thing to point out.
So yeah, the big thing about, I think obviously Frosted gives him plenty of intelligence. In fact, comparable. It's Frosted Skull's what it gives him 20 intelligence compared to, and 150 max mana compared to the whatever it was, I just looked. But anyways, the point being the mana regeneration is just another big thing that the Sheepstick provides.
Exactly.
Perhaps even more so than the base mana itself. So, yeah, no, that's a very good point, though. In the end, you see the bottom tower going down right there in favor of Sync. So Sync, it's a slow, patient game for them, and continuing to be. You got the top and the middle now working in their favor. And you have Willowkeeper constantly having to fight back with it. They cannot push out because of that, obviously. They're trying to get it's regen a good amount of life. It's about 2/3 of its life now at this point. Magebane, though, Slayer picked up. Don't think that's going to be Doombringer as much as that would be awesome. Pretty silly, though, at this point. Pick it up on his team, at least. Doctor, on the other hand, wouldn't be out of the question.
Yeah, I think he could actually perhaps just split up Savage Mace and just go for a Doombringer, because I mean, obviously Magebane doesn't actually have a Wingbow, so it's definitely possible to go for all-in Doombringer. And why not? I mean, their backs against the wall, they need something. I think he should go for it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Should.
Pure pressure.
Peer pressure.
I want to type that out. Do it. Anyways, just do it. Nike it. So top lane, actually, they finally get a little bit of a counter push themselves, does Willowkeeper. Somebody was doing it, didn't notice too. But anyways, pushed out a little bit right there, so they're buying themselves some more time. In the meantime, you got a lot of gold being pulled up, as you would expect at this point, on either side, especially the Hellborn side. So that gold lead, even slightly in favor of Sync, it's even a little bit more when you factor in there's freaking 15,000 gold saved up on the Hellborn team, compared to maybe like the 8,000 or so for Sync right now. So quick math right there. But Soul's Bulwark on a Pebbles, Demonic Breastplate. I'm sure going to be next in line. Not just yet though. But I mean, why should Sync rush this? It's just going to be a very patient. Just sit at the bottom lane. Conqueror's not up just yet. I think he should be out. In fact, there we go. Rhapsody kind of checking it out. The bound die right there. Getting a feel of what's going on.
Portal key on Ophelia as well as no Fireblade, which is quite interesting to see, actually.
What? That is odd. But, you know, I think that's just pure defensive, though, honestly, in the sense that Sheepsticks and, like...
Yeah, definitely.
It just allows him to sit back and, if like, say, Magebane a Sheepstick, jump in and purge it off.
As well as the Storm Spirit as well, yeah. Portal key important, as well as the portal key on Torture as well. So, I mean, the main damage here is obviously the Magebane and even the Pebbles as well. They're just there for the supporting nature, and you know, the portal keys does actually make quite a big difference as well. So.
Now, Magebane beating on a Conqueror as soon as he resurrects. So this is where it's really difficult now for Willowkeeper, because again, they still have the same problems, but now they need to decide, do they give up a token? It's actually Rhapsody. She portal gets away in time. Magebane coming in. He's putting in some good auto attacks. Doctor's dropping low mana. He gets hit by the Stalagmites. And the follow-up. There's the Storm Spirit, though, on a Doctor. Hellfire. They're like, oh, the mana again. Just does so much damage. Down goes Doctor. He does buyback. It's his final buyback. Alonia is going to fall, though. And Miraculous with that Matrix up. He's in trouble. He is starting to drop Protective Melody in the background. As soon as Dr. Pulsar comes back in with the buyback, he will stop it. But it might have been too late. Down goes Rhapsody. Pebbles looking to chase. Kinesis is still well alive, but GG well played is being called. And that's why, because in the meantime, the Shrine was taking the damage. And the Shrine obviously falls in favor of Sync Esports. So Sync takes game 2, and they take the series as a result of that. But it was not easy, man. It was not easy.
Man, what a series, though. Like, I mean, game 1, maybe a little bit of more of a letdown, but game 2 did not let us down. And Tree, oh man, it felt like they honestly had that game until the Magebane Mana Rift at the top lane. They got the initial racks, and then from that they snowballed. But again, in that last team fight as well, the Magebane man doing so much work against the Doctor Repulsor. I mean, I think in game one, I think Zinc probably just they won that just down to the better draft and the better strategy. But in game two, Magebane man was such a big MVP, and Tree just could not finish it. Even when they had the lead. So, in the end, great series, and obviously that's just the winner bracket final as well. So, obviously we got more games tomorrow, and I think that's a little bit of hope for Tree as well. There was a few little mistakes I think that made a big difference. I think in the top lane, where I think Dr. Repulsor was a little bit honestly lethargic in the sense that he had the chance to really get out, but Magebane came in, did the massive mana rift, and then, like we said, in the blink of an eye, Zinc did take the game in the end, or take the racks, and then from there it snowballed to take the game.
Yeah,
a great series though.
That was no doubt the game changer. You just go back to that. That really set the tone of the game. That top gank on a Dr. Repulsor, and then Mick is stunned, and a lot of questions there, but you could have, but hindsight, sure, but. In the end, the end result, Sync Esports does take it. A crazy, crazy game indeed, but Sync, again, they are the team to beat right now, and continuing to prove that. So like you said, like pointed out, though, I mean, that's just the winner bracket finals, up into the brackets right here to show for you guys. So now it's all set here for the losers bracket finals. That'll be tomorrow. Who would have thought? Willowkeeper versus Nullstone Gaming in the losers bracket finals. And the winner of that series, obviously, will play Sync Esports in the overall grand finals tomorrow for cycle number 2. So, again, no doubt looking forward to all that. That kicks off 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European time tomorrow. And cannot wait for that already. A pretty long day here. Just to think, we played basically 5 matches here, watched 5 matches. It took 7 hours, basically, to do 5 games. In the end. So, and then, yeah, sure, we had some pauses here and there, but for the most part, it's just because they were just longer, just well-fought games by the teams, and that happened. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, when the game goes on for that long, there's a reason why. I mean, the two teams are very, very close in terms of skill and matchups, but in this winner bracket, Zinc were just a little bit too much to handle for Tree, but. Like I said, I mean, there was a few mistakes that honestly could be quite easily rectified for Tree. So even for tomorrow's, even if they do make it into obviously the grand finals, they've got to beat Nullstone Gaming, which themselves have shown a very strong showing as well. So that's not going to be an easy game. And I mean, I'm glad obviously we've had today, but tomorrow is going to be even better, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Definitely am, and I'm sure you guys at home once again obviously are as well. So, going to be wrapping things up here. Any shout-outs, any final words before we do, Mini Maggot?
No, just obviously really well played count from Zinc, and Tree they just almost feels like they're just a scrape behind Zinc. If they can maybe just improve their draft and their strategy slightly, and obviously have maybe a bit more experience in terms of obviously like the whole game, obviously. Then I definitely think they can contend, but even in that sense, though, you saw in Game 2, that was definitely a game that Tree could definitely have won, which definitely sort of shows, we've seen, there's been quite a lot of forum posts talking about how Zinc are going to be like #1 for